G'day punters, welcome to episode 17 of the Neds NRL Punting Podcast. We are your one-stop shop for all things rugby league news, hot takes, outstanding opinions on everything that we discuss every week, and the everlasting search for a winning multi. My name's Jared Timms. With me, I was going to list off your stats, but big green boy, Jharal Yow Yeh.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Hat, shirt, and pants.
I didn't mean to today. I don't know what was going through my brain. I'm not usually that good at dressing myself. So
You look like John Cena. That's what it reminds
well,
me
you
of.
can't see me.
Deary me. All right.
I'm happily John Cena. I'll be happily John Cena.
I'm going to stay away from the stats with you as well. Usually suit and tie Gary. Today he's in a bomber jacket.
Just one of the people today.
Yeah,
just keeping it real. No, if I can start off by saying how good was that footy on the weekend? I was down in Byron, but I managed to catch a couple of games. It was brilliant.
You were in Byron.
Yeah.
You little rascal.
Yeah, it was good.
You really go to some venues too. What was that place that you were
That
at?
would have been for
Bit of a
free.
farm
He
stay.
does not pay for things.
Yeah.
So that would have been something he got from a mate or something.
That
I
is
bet
surely
so.
the pot calling the kettle black as well.
What'd you call me?
As soon as you said that, I was like, hang on.
Pot. Confirming pot.
Oh, wow.
And the best looking man in the room, Ryan
Oh,
Cook.
stop it.
The form
stop
guide
it.
fondler.
Chris, you take that honour this week, mate. I'm digging the casual setup. And
Thank
your
you, mate.
Instagram, by the way, you could rival any white girl. Some of the photos you take are just
Thank
amazing.
you.
honestly.
That's what I live for,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of my dog.
There is a
so-
lot of dog
Yeah.
and couple content. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You know, the missus likes it when I put pics up of hers. Makes her realise I do actually care about her.
Oh, terrific.
It's nice that you have to do that long in your relationship or whatever.
This has been a great start to the Rugby League podcast. By the way.
Just a little live chat.
Well, let's do it. State of Origin 2 in the history books. New South Wales respond in probably the best way imaginable. Jharal, what did you think about the whole game?
Yeah, Nathan Cleary probably
Oh, how good was he?
arguably one of the closest to well, he was the best on the field, but that's probably got to be up there with the best Origin performance.
Yeah.
You know, in a long time. I'm not going to insult anyone that's come before him, but yeah, it's up there with one of the best.
Chris?
Matt Burton was just
Oh,
amazing. Like that one bomb, that was incredible. He is such a huge unit. He is just massive. He is really filled out.
Yeah. He's tall.
And he's
I
only
didn't realise how
22,
tall he was.
isn't it?
Yeah.
The best is absolutely still ahead of him.
Yeah, it's exciting for New South Wales fans. You know, for the future, I mean. Like
Yeah.
it is. It's very
Yeah.
exciting and good for Origin because, you know, we've obviously gone over that 8 years that was just of dominance. It's good to see back and forth now. I mean, I love that footies like this. I don't want to see anything like that dominance again. I mean, it would be nice, but I think it's good that we have the competition that's the way it is at the moment.
Yeah, and I think as well, Jerome Luai at 6 was pretty average. I know he scored a try, but you got to wonder in the future, do they break that up? Because Matt Burton's best spot is 6, and he's a better player than Jerome Luai. He is.
Was Jerome Luai's try the weakest try in Origin history?
Probably.
He literally
Probably.
just walked through the line.
Yeah, I think that was spent.
He was surprised. He was surprised when he went over the line.
I got to say this in those big games when you're just getting the momentum, it just didn't swing. It was just with New South Wales for a good 35 minutes, and you can't hold him out. It was tough, and that's probably why he strolled over very easily.
Yeah, and the Cleary try as well was ridiculously easy too. So, but I think a couple of others have pointed out, but that kick from Cleary for the Burton try, I think really
Changed the game.
Yeah, messed with Queensland. They were coming up in around that sort of umbrella style defence, and that made them second guess. And yeah, New South Wales capitalised.
Look, we spoke about changes after game 1. We didn't predict 7 for New South Wales. I was particularly critical. Boy, they paid off. Let's start with New South Wales again. Do you change anything about that setup at all?
Well, I mean, the luxury that he has at the moment to be able to change anything. I definitely think Jack Whiten has to come in somewhere.
So where does he come in?
Oh,
He's probably Talakai, yeah.
Okay.
Probably on the bench.
Or Crichton is pretty average. He made a really bad miss on Ponga. Yeah, I mean, maybe do you put him at right centre?
He didn't have much of an impact in a team that was having an enormous impact.
I mean, Whiten's a better centre than Crichton is at the moment.
Yep.
So
I just want to know how New South Wales are going to afford, if they end up winning this, going to afford that whole squad to come to Queensland to enjoy the win if they do, because how many players are in that squad?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't leave them out. Like, you got
It's
to
almost every Sydney club in
pretty
in
much,
that team.
pretty much. So yeah, it's a good headache. I don't think there's any issue with what Brad's got to has at the moment. But I will say this: it's not going to be easy for them again. It's 2000. I think was the last time a decider was won by New South Wales and Queensland. Definitely different circumstances at the moment, but the Queenslanders will put up a fight. And I love this time of the year. You could see everywhere here already in Queensland, in Brisbane. It's just it's going crazy already, and we're still 2 weeks out. Like they started when game 2 was on. So I just love this part. Win, lose or draw, the way that this town puts on a show. Yeah, it's going to be enjoyable. I'm going to Origin 3, and I've only ever sat in the crowd once before to watch an Origin. Wow. So very looking forward to getting there and getting in there with the punters.
Absolutely outstanding. Okay, Queensland obviously famous for picking and sticking. You can't really pick and stick with a team that has 40 put on them like that. What changes are you making to the Maroons?
Oh, Nanai's got to go. Fafita in. Felice Kafusi as well looks like he's stuck over in America for a family situation. Unlikely that he'll play.
So who comes in for him? Bo Fermor, someone like that.
Do you put Fafita in the starting side and go Bo Fermor on the bench? I don't think Nanai can play again.
And Cotter's definitely out for game 3.
Yeah. Cotter's definitely out. So, yeah, there's some tough choices there. But having said that, I think Fafita's best coming off the bench. But maybe you have to start with him. Maybe you get creative.
If he plays, they're going to go at that edge.
Yeah.
They know they're going to go at that edge because, one, he hasn't played much footy, and two, at times in his career, he's been a bit of a liability in defence. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm sure Williams got something up his sleeve. They've got a good crew there. They know what to do in these moments. So I'm sure whoever they'll pick.
Munster as well in doubt with the shoulder injury too. If he's out, Queensland can't win. It's that simple.
Well, I think the reason why also KP's obviously been a little bit in doubt as well. But the reason why I think they brought Walshy in, not just because they said he's having great form. He's, to be honest, like. Did we ever think that he was going to be in the squad? I didn't.
No.
I think the reason why he's in there is because we know he's got the X factor, and I think that KP already had something wrong with him before he went into game 2.
Yeah, okay.
I honestly think that he already did, and they were just caressing him to see if he got through the game, and if he doesn't play that third, we've got Walshy there to debut and I think he brings. Obviously, they'll put a lot of pressure on him, but he's a kid that can break the game. He's very good at short side plays. Like we've seen that in the NRL. He's done it to some of the best teams. So I think he's probably got a little bit more acceleration pace than KP as well. So jumping those short sides and making those reads are a big part of Billy Slater's game and how Billy Slater's played his whole career in footy. So I think he comes in immediately, and I don't think he'll beat around the bush. If KP's not ready, he'll just put Walshy straight in there.
Just on Slater, I don't understand the Papali minutes, getting under 20 minutes each game. I don't get that. He's coming off at like the 16-minute mark. It just befuddles me. He can play 40, 50 easy.
I think he only played about 7 minutes at the end of the second half or something too, didn't he?
Well, does he think the game was? Did he think the game was too far gone?
Yeah, well, probably by that point.
And did he go? Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about putting my big boys in and letting them gas out. Just let it go and we'll go to game 3.
And I guess the other one is Selwyn Cobbo had a pretty unfortunate night. Do you go with a Corey Oates maybe? Taulungi, does he replace Taulungi? Maybe a bit of experience.
And the other thing is I keep Selwyn because it is at Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah.
I probably put Murray Taulungi out and I probably put Corey Oates because of Suncorp Stadium.
And does dropping a young player that soon after one bad game ruin them moving forward?
It depends how you do it. Depends how you do it. You just have to have that honest conversation. I think honesty is the best policy at this level. And if you are Bill and you're honest with one of those two boys, if they're not going to play, then I think they're okay with it. But you've got to let them down, properly and not beat around the bush. Said, oh, you could have, we might pick you. Don't do that. Just say this is the reason why you've got to go back to your club level. You're going to have they're 20, 21, 19, 20 years old. Like they're going to play a lot of Origin. Yeah. I don't think they should be worried.
Yeah. Dane Gagai, a lot of chat about him. Is he cast? Is it time to look beyond him?
Nah, you got to stick with him. He's such a I know he was bad, but it's Dane Gagai. He's an Origin performer.
He seems like the sort of bloke that if it does go down to the wire in game 3, he probably could create the moment as well.
I think you want the ball in his hand. Like if there's anyone, you want Cameron Munster, but if it's a one-on-one or it's a big tackle, you want him there. He's played 20 games for a reason.
Yeah,
he's very good at what he does. I don't like how they're defending on that right edge at the moment. They're getting up fast and flat. What happened to the days of, just picking out your player, getting up slow, and then going to get them one by one? It puts Selwyn under a lot of pressure. And for a young player, he was jamming a lot on game 2, and it made it difficult for them. And then obviously having KP stuck at the ruck all the time when they are getting up fast, there's no one there to get that kick, and that's what happened. And you've got to understand that they've got to make sure if they're going to go get up fast, you've got to be smarter and make sure that KP's in those positions to make those plays.
And you saw as well with 2 post try, Taulagi was caught out doing the same thing, coming up and in way too, just almost like automatic, like robotic and not reading it. Yeah.
Well, I think it shows that, yes, they've got to put pressure on, their halves, because in game 1, it showed that they, but obviously they've gone back to the drawing board and seen what's happened and fixed it. Where do they go here? I don't know. I hope that, whoever gets picked in those positions that are vacant, they do the job.
And I think it comes down to that middle defence as well, honestly, because Tedesco, who we've barely spoken about, would have been man of the match in any other game.
Yeah.
He was so bloody brilliant.
But he's always that good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like we watch him week in and week out.
Is he the best fullback origin-wise? Is he better than Lockyer? Is he better than Slater?
Yeah, well,
I think he is. I think he's
I think he does more work than them.
Yeah.
I think it's a different game. Look, I don't think he gets down a short side as well as Bill, but I think he does some work, and we know that. Like, he's running over 200 and almost 300 meters every origin, and it's insane.
Yeah. Certainly the best for New South Wales. I mean, I think he might have just eclipsed Ragdoll Hodgson.
What about Tim Brasher?
Tim Brasher. Anthony Minicello had some good years.
Minicello for like 3 years was brilliant, and then the injuries.
I love playing against Anthony Minicello in Origin. He gave me 2 tries, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I think he was past it by
Sorry, Mini.
Still the best position fullback I've ever seen is Minicello. Would always find the chest. And Lockyer, there's no better fullback ever, including Slater, who's been able to set up tries like Lockyer could out the back.
Yeah, it's true.
But Tedesco's probably got a bit mix of it all, and he's the best runner.
Yeah, he's definitely the best runner of the ball.
Yeah.
He is so strong at his hips, yeah, he's powerful.
Yeah, well, it certainly sets up for a huge Origin 3 in Brisbane. Absolutely mouth-watering. Can't wait. Just want to let all of the Neds partners know too, I'm yet to commit to a ticket to Origin 3. We're up here in Brisbane, so if any of you are listening,
you got options. You got options. Okay.
I'm just keeping my cards close to my chest.
I'm also
here,
yet to commit, so package deal maybe.
There you go. Everyone but Jharal, by the sounds of things.
I'm very busy Origin Day. Yeah. I'll be going to a breakfast, a lunch, and then I've actually bought my own ticket to go to the game because I want to sit with the punters. I've sat many times in a box, but it just hits different when you sit with the crowd. So I'm going to sit with the punters and really enjoy this one.
Terrific. Of course, it was international break last weekend too. We were treated to some very good test matches. What was your highlight, Jharal, of the other games?
Mount Smart. I mean,
crowd.
The Red Sea was just, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Thinking like
absolutely incredible.
Those
the number
people,
of Tonga fans that come out everywhere they play.
If my Australian citizenship gets torn up, I'll be going to become a citizen of Tonga straight away because they absolutely love the game, and it's something you love to see. I've seen footage over there in Tonga of they've been devastated with obviously what's happened over there, but they it's amazing to see them jump back on their feet and support, and just the hymns that they sing in the crowd, like that was a big. All games were amazing. Big upset by PNG. Love seeing David Mead go out on a high. He's an absolute gentleman and a scholar of the game.
Yeah.
So the whole weekend, it was mouth-watering.
Yeah, the Kummels actually I was going to touch on as well. You could just
Justin
tell
Olam.
But Lachlan Lamb as well just finds his best like his dad did.
Not even Lachlan Lamb. What's his name? The other.
Oh, Kyle Labour.
Kyle Labour. Yeah, absolutely made Viliami Kikau look like a buster.
Yeah.
Like he defended him like if he doesn't have a gig and the way he kicks the ball, jeez.
Townsville? Does he play for Townsville?
Yeah, so he's obviously had some games with the Cowboys. He's sort of been hanging around that Q Cup system for a long time. Do you remember Michael Parker Walsh as well? Him and Labour were sort of meant to be the next Cowboys halves partners for a long time. Just never quite worked out for either of them. I think Labour, he's more of a Chad Townsend type in that he needs the right system because he doesn't have much athleticism or anything, but he's tough and he's smart.
I think this is what I love about Test footy as well, Pacific Test footy. Most of these kids will probably go, if they don't already, go have an NRL contract next year. And that's the cool thing about watching these games. And I know that Volandis has come out and said that we're going to stop it. But there has to be Has to be something. There's got to be like a round robin or something.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be, because we're seeing some of the best in the game, like athletic kids. Some of those Fijian blokes, like they're
the fullback for Fiji,
Jharal,
he's like 19 in the Panthers system.
Like it's cool to see, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish it's actually a travesty that they're going to scrap it. But I understand from a broadcaster's perspective, you just don't get the ratings that you do with an NRL round. So they will move it to the end of the year and have that round robin format. I think is what will happen. As a footy fans love that weekend. Like that's, as a casual, you're probably not as much into it, but yeah, it was awesome.
Like you can make it like another Magic round. Just put it somewhere in a town. And just, when you think footy's over after grand final. We don't have to,
Andrew Abdo, give Jharal a call.
Yeah. No, please don't. I don't like having those big things put on me.
Please don't. He was considering it until you said that just then.
I actually sat next to him at a lunch, and he said that I was a nice young man, which he doesn't obviously know me very well.
Actually, Oscar, that I do the NRL Big Questions with on a Thursday, Oscar from Rugby League Writers, he's also the media manager of PNG Hunters in the Q Cup, and he said the vibe at the club this week is just through the roof. So their hooker was the starting hooker for them. Watovo Puaro, wrote his name down here. He was terrific.
Man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we're talking about. Like, if we don't have these games on TV for these specific tests for these Islander teams, and we don't see them at their best. So I hope some of these players get an opportunity to, not only help their careers, but to help their families financially, because it's great to see.
Speaking of Mount Smart Stadium, the Warriors back to Mount Smart Stadium this weekend. Look, how big is this for Rugby League in New Zealand, but also the NRL as well?
Yeah, huge. Obviously from New Zealand myself, I don't think people understand how popular Rugby League is in Auckland. Outside of Auckland, Union dominates. But in Auckland, it's a massive deal. It's huge. You could argue it's the more popular game. This is so great. Like, as a Warriors fan from 95, had a 95 jersey. I've still got it somewhere, like an actual one. I don't know where it is. It's stressing me out.
Like a game-worn one?
No, like as in my uncle in literally the summer of like 94, 95, when they were coming in the competition, bought me one.
Oh, nice.
That's how I got into rugby league.
I've got a South Queensland Crushers jersey of a similar story.
Trevor
actually.
Gilmister? I'll get it signed.
Yeah, Mario Fennick was my man when I was 4 years old. So, yeah. Tiny, but
it's going to be brilliant. And I don't think any of us have really shown the appreciation of the Warriors that they deserve.
And that's the other thing I was about to say, Chris. We've got a platform where we have an opportunity to talk to punters and talk shit most of the time, but there's another opportunity to thank New Zealand Warriors because, without them going forward and moving their whole families, moving themselves, and having those tough times where they were in lockdowns and just playing rugby league. I know people go, well, they're playing rugby league, but for a lot of players, it is tough to move away from them. I would never have been able to do it. Yeah. So hats off to the New Zealand Warriors. Thank you so much for keeping the NRL alive. We definitely couldn't have done without you, and I hope we repay it in tenfolds in the years to come, because you deserve it.
Absolutely. This season, it seems like if we haven't been talking about coaches, we've been talking about the Dolphins. And if we haven't been talking about the Dolphins, we've been talking specifically about Payne Haas.
Yeah.
Look, he's yet to commit to anyone for 2023, Chris, but another club has entered the picture now.
Well, he is, I guess, committed to Brisbane, but I still don't see... All the intel I have is that's not going to happen. He's going to force his way out. Coda Nasser, I think we said that. Coda Nasser always wins, and he will win in some way this time. Yeah, but Titans, they are interested. There's going to be a reset at the Titans, whether that involves the coach moving on or some high-profile players, but there will be a lot of movement in the off-season. Fafita is among those. They're considering what they do with him. Do they stick with him? Do they look to involve him in a trade package? And there is definite interest in uniting Payne with his brother Cleese, who is in the Titans system and considered an absolute superstar. Their family's on the Gold Coast. Peter Waddell wrote about that today, is that's an option and some calls tonight, and it definitely is. It's a realistic thing.
Right. Very exciting. Does how the Sims family, half of them play for Queensland and half of them play for New South Wales? Are we confirming that both Haas brothers are New South Welshmen?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That's all we need to know.
I think it's only Corbin that he was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he basically grew up here. Like he was here the whole time. But hey, let's not get into that because we don't really care.
Jharal, the Broncos taking on the Cowboys this weekend. Obviously, a lean few years for both clubs. It was a really, really good rivalry before that. Looks like it's going to be again this weekend. Is it the best rivalry in the league?
I think it used to be.
Yeah.
I think it's probably calmed down a little bit from that 2014, 13, probably till 2019. I think it sort of died out a little bit, but I can tell you this: they'll be out in droves up there in Townsville over the weekend. They come from far and wide. I haven't had the opportunity to go to Queensland Country Bank, so I haven't had the opportunity to go there yet. But I know they pack it out. If they do it like they did Dairy Farmers, it'll be huge. And the biggest thing that the players look forward to is going out afterwards.
Yeah,
the Mad Cow. That's the only thing they care about. I'm telling you this because that's the first thing I ever packed when I went to Townsville was my jeans.
What's the best club? Is it Mooseheads? Is it Mad Cows?
Mad Cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get given, you're allowed anything.
Yeah.
They give you drink cards. I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but
is it Fridays in Brisbane or?
Oh.
Down under bar.
Yeah, down
I
under
don't know,
bar.
actually, no, look, Chris, I'm a little bit seasons now, so I'm not sure what it is now. I don't even know where the ball.
Well, I guess in your day, what was it? What was the
Fridays?
Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays, 100%. You could find us in one corner, just holding up the bar.
I was wondering where you were going there. You're talking about your team. Okay.
Yeah.
Blackbird Bar and Grill now as well. When I've gone there, I'm always seeing a footy player or two there.
Yeah, because it's dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
They try to like to be dark and mysterious.
Little hidden away balcony there too.
And if you want to do, I guess, CEO or NRL spotting, NRL team spotting in terms of more management, SK Steak and Oyster.
And if you want to sponsor us, personally, individually, just
With
come
steaks.
see us and we'll mention you on the show every week.
You're paying enormous overs for a steak at SK Steak and Oyster.
Yeah.
All right. I think that will just about do us with that. Let's get into some betting.
This is The Offload.
The Offload Origin Edition. I feel like I know exactly who this is going to be. Don't argue.
Nathan Cleary. Surprise, surprise, fellas. Like all the greats do, he bounced back from a pretty meagre Origin Game 1 performance to lead the Blues to victory last Sunday night. You're getting $15 for that second half double. But he also had a hand in a couple of tries that followed after. Kicking game was on point. Chris, you said before you didn't think Jerome Luai played that well. I thought he was okay, but we did see Queensland disrupt their halves a little bit more in the first half. How do you think Queensland combats that going into game 3?
They've got to find their line speed again. It went missing, and I think that starts with just their middles were pretty poor, honestly. It starts there. And they just got sapped of energy. What's the Felice Kafusi? I thought that was a fine sin bin. I thought that's just...
Really?
Yeah, I think repeated infringements. And like that one where he was literally like deliberately holding him down to try and get a penalty. Like, sorry, see you later. 10, gone.
Maroons was spent after
Hated
that
it.
too.
Yeah. But it's brought in for that reason. It's such a negative
It is, but the thing
strategy.
now is you got to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
That's what scares me about game 3. And like it could go our way, but I don't like it. If it goes against New South Wales, I still don't like it. I don't want it to be there. I know it's there for a reason, but it's just like Origin, just leave it. But it's a penalty every day of the week in rounds. Yeah.
But on Cleary as well, I think we all spoke about it before, is that Matt Burton threat allows Cleary more time to get his kicks away and get into the game.
Absolutely outstanding stuff. Who are our punters' pals?
Brian To'o. So on the same game multi-front, To'o at $2.25 was the most popular inclusion in Origin Game 2. 35% of same game multis were relying on him.
He scored the second, I think, didn't he?
He did, yes. Yeah. So Cobbo was the most popular for Queensland. 30% didn't come through, unfortunately. But since there was no club footy last week, we're just going to look ahead to round 16 for a few tips. I like Jerome Hughes versus Manly tonight, $2.85. You've got to ride the hot hand when it comes to try scorers. He's played a big part in New Zealand's win last week over Tonga, scored a try and had 2 line breaks. Should be a handful for your Manly Seagulls tonight. Timsy, Dane Gagai versus the Titans at $2.75 tomorrow night. I think we'll see plenty of points in that game because neither team can defend. We've already spoken about whether or not he, is still up to Origin level, but he scored a try in each of his last 2 games against Gold Coast. And I also like Edric Lee in that same game. He scored in 3 of his last 5. 71% of Newcastle's home games he scored in. You're getting $2.15 anytime there as well.
No KP, so I wonder how much attack they'll be able to generate in Newcastle.
Yes,
Just put it up for the big fella.
Yeah.
He's so long. He's so tall. Like, Just put it up for him.
If you're not first, you're last.
Replacement Matt Burton actually got the most attention in Origin Game 2 at the first try scorer odds of $15, had 17% of bets on him, did the punters. He came pretty close, scoring 4 minutes after Felice Kafusi crossed the line for Queensland at 31s.
What a pickup that try was as well. Wow, people drop that under far less pressured situations.
Yes, I know. Tip heading into this weekend, I like Joseph Suwali versus Penrith. He's been the first try scorer in each of the Roosters' last 2 games. You're getting $15 there.
Do not hate that either. Surely amongst all of the Origin betting, we took a few bloody good ones.
We did. So anyone that backed Cleary man of the match at $6, 20% of bets were on him, not surprisingly. We also took 51K on New South Wales, the cover -3.5. And then this one is a bit more interesting, 10K on 8 minutes or later, no try at $1.72. Very bold bet on a market. That's not a lot of people would be going to bet on, but...
I'm looking at my sheet here. There's no don't tell the misser.
No, look, the punters had a good week.
Wow.
Not a bad thing, I suppose.
That makes me upset.
The less content for us, the better.
Anyone that followed Chris in 13+.
Yeah. Not me.
I
totally forgot. The game started, I'm like, shit. I haven't put bets on. Oh, well.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much.
Thanks, lads.
All right, guys, any team versus any team available in round 16 of the NRL with Neds. It's as easy as selecting any 2 teams, creating a bet, back them head-to-head, and if your team outscores the other, you win. Chris, have you found...
Yep, Warriors to beat Penrith.
Wow.
Yep.
Bold.
Warriors are going to annihilate the Tigers by a huge margin.
It is a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, and Panthers, Roosters, that'll be tight.
Yep.
So,
Okay, all right.
There's logic there somewhere.
Yep. Oh, I don't hate it. You're going to get a good price for the Warriors too, given how good Penrith are.
I'll just go on Manly taking on the Gold Coast Titans.
Yep.
I think Manly win that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I like that.
That's it for me.
All right, punters.
Not as bold as Chris is saying.
T's and C's apply. Of course, they are available on the website. If you're having a bet, always remember to gamble responsibly.
The Neds NRL Punting Podcast Multi.
All right, guys, we went in for an Origin same-game multi last week. I must admit, even as a Blues fan, the leg I didn't think was going to lob was yours, Chris, 13+, and it was the only one that did.
Just glad to one actually hold the team up for once. Usually I'm just sneaking in there with some help. But yeah.
We've done it. I mean, it doesn't really matter, though, does it? Because the other 2 fell over and we didn't get a winning bet. So let's have another go. Jharal, you're going first.
Okay. I went Justin Olam anytime this week. I just think coming off the back of playing his with his country and the way he turned up for PNG, I think he'll carry that form into Manly. So I've gone Justin Olam anytime. $2.60.
If the Storm, I beg your pardon, really turn up on Thursday night against Manly, it could be a pretty bad night at the office for the Sea Eagles.
It could be.
Pappenhausen coming back in.
Ryan, his name is. Yeah.
All right, well. Chris, you're second this week.
Great, yeah.
I've gone Cowboys by a margin, 13+. I think the Broncos' 2 best players and Haas and Reynolds are playing injured, probably shouldn't be playing. I think up there, Saturday, 5:30, I think it's, I think they're going to do it pretty well.
Only if they pack their jeans, it's not going to be.
That is the other factor. The mad cow factor for the Broncos. Are they looking ahead to the dance floor?
I was going to say the real winner that night would be everyone
I'll
at
tell
Mad
you this
Cow
much,
afterwards.
Hook would always just say to us, if you don't win, you're not going out. And that's what he would say to us. I'm not even lying to you. So it was a good play.
Did you win more often than not?
I've never lost there. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Yeah. Great tactic. I'm backing the story here, the Warriors to win in their first game at home. I thought $1.48 for them was pretty good value, just head to head.
Yeah, it actually is.
It is.
They're playing West Tigers. That's why. All right, to recap, Jharal, Justin Olam, anytime try scorer, $2.60. Chris, Cowboys, 13+, $2.90. Jared, Warriors to win, $1.48. Thanks very much. The bookies, $11.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like it as well.
Nice. This is going to be the one that gets us back on track.
It's going to have to be.
Confirming that the AFL podcast still haven't got one
Well,
over
the
line.
illustrious host has suspended himself.
Has he?
For the next 4 weeks.
What do you mean?
Well, he's only had 2 winning tips all year.
You can't suspend yourself.
Yeah, well, we've all had a gutful.
Tips. What are we up to in that,
you
round 15?
couldn't try to tip 2 winners in 16 rounds of
No, if he's putting shit bets up, he has to keep his shit bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the thing is, he's getting $1.20 legs rolled.
Oh, wow.
That's a special performance.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, punters. Well, the Neds NRL Punting Podcast Multi is already built for your convenience. It's available under NRL round specials at neds.com.au. or on the Neds blog. All right, guys, it's that time of the week. Again, let's have a final thought. Chris.
Roosters moving Joey Manu to 6 is their best option. Great choice. Well done. It's the only way they can save their season because they are in a deep hole right now.
I actually thought that he was going to be available for New South Wales, but he's a Kiwi.
He absolutely is, and probably the best centre, but I think he's an even better 6. I think it could really improve their season.
Well, if anything shows over the weekend, he's a pretty good fullback.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Record-breaking 398 metres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huge. Mr. Rugby
Insane.
League. Let's get that nickname off the ground.
That is insane. And like, honestly, James Tedesco's never done that before.
No.
Never done that before. Like, I'm just saying, he did some work. He went to work he went to work hard over the weekend.
And that was in a rep game as well.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
And they're not slouches, Tonga. Like they go pretty well. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's my thoughts.
I wish that we had. How good would it be to have after Origin a Kangaroos Kiwi test? A couple of weeks after. Like that would just be brilliant.
I don't know why we don't.
Yeah.
It would be ideal too. Give New Zealand the benefit of the run beforehand, and then all Australia's best players come in from Origin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you have that Origin as an actual selection trial, which for the first time in a while, because there's so many spots up for grabs, Game 3 will be. Especially
I love
that 6 spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, the 7 spot with Cleary.
You'd have to think that Cameron Munster
Yeah. He's the
and James Tedesco probably the locks at the moment for their positions.
Absolutely.
Like 100%. They can't take those away from them.
Yeah.
Even Hooker. Hooker's hard too.
Yeah.
Well, with 4 selected in Origin, it does make it a bit more difficult, doesn't it?
It does.
Ryan, anything you want to say?
Just on the Roosters as well, Friday night's game against Penrith, I don't see how the Roosters make the 8. Just looking at their schedule, they got the 6th hardest schedule remaining this year.
Makes me so happy if they don't.
They've got to play the Cowboys, the Broncos still. They've got St. George in 2 weeks after the bye. I mean, if they lose tomorrow night, it's very, very difficult.
But hey, they got Matt Lodge now.
Changes everything.
Speaking of, Luciano Leilua to debut for the Cows this week.
What a player.
Huge.
Yeah.
Just on Matt Lodge, can I just say that why are people still upset about him playing? Like, let him play.
Yeah.
Someone wants to sign him. Good luck to him.
Is the contract big?
It's 100K-ish.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah.
He was going to play for the Eels, but this was like a month or so ago where they valued it at 200 and now it's dropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Didn't he get paid out
Play
in
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, play on.
Yeah. But there's so many people are coming after the Roosters and Lodge again. Like, the bloke's done his time. Let him play.
Yeah.
He has done his time.
Yeah.
I do have to say that. Watching him behind the scenes at the Bronx when he was going through that, obviously he was in the wrong, but to see him bounce back from that was pretty special because I didn't think he was going to bounce back at all from what he'd done. But he's done a great job.
All right, punters, that's going to do us for the week. We'd absolutely love it if you subscribe on your favourite podcast platform. Watch us on YouTube. That would be great too. You'll see Jharal in his green glory.
Can't see me.
Well, you can't if you're listening to it on Spotify. Dearie me. All right, find us on the socials at NedsOz. Enjoy the footy this weekend. If you're having a bet, always remember to gamble responsibly.